Hello dear readers, here we are yet again with Tidbit Tuesday and continuing our behind the scenes sort of sneak peeks on the characters that you guys voted for. This time around it's Zorastres. Technical difficulties, cat and photographer. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, this week we're talking about Zorastres from, well, actually all of the tome series. What to say about Zorastres? Well, he's one of the characters that you guys have been following since the first book in the tome series. He has changed quite a lot and evolved and grown in many ways. Zorastres is Cimmerian, which is a race that I strongly base on the ancient Greeks. So a lot of his customs, his way of thinking is strongly influenced by that. As a people, the Cimmerians dedicate their lives, they have a pantheon of gods, but they dedicate their lives to one in particular, and they try to embody that deity's ideals and governances and everything connected to them. For example, a Cimmerian who is dedicated to Ares would be very enthusiastic about fighting in battle and combat, you know, kind of like a berserker. Well, in Zorastres' case, he was born to a family dedicated to Athene, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, which meant he was supposed to become a soldier, which he failed at miserably. He's well trained in the art of fighting. He's a good swordsman, but he fails at the strategic part. He's not battle-minded. It's just not in him. So as a child, he became enamored with learning about Hecate and being the goddess of magic and witchcraft and necromancy and ghosts and the other world and the underworld. He delved heavily into magic, and his beliefs were to, as a way of honoring her, to learn everything he could about magic, to just collect spells and all different kinds of magic. And that's kind of what led him on the road to where he ended up when you met him in Zakin. He was obsessed with it, and unfortunately Amias used that obsession against him and blinded him to what he was really using him for, which was to open the Tome of the First Gate and unleash the abyss on the material realm. Because of that, of course, Zorastres lost his faith and went through a lot of trials and tribulations inside, and kind of came around full circle to coming back to Hecate. In Rahasya, he makes quite the leap forward on that. Where you guys last left off with him at the end of Sea of Sands, he and his companions were traveling to the Isle of the Hesperides, which is an island that belongs to Hera. On that journey, he's come back to himself and learning and rediscovering himself, what he wants to do and how he wants to be and how he wants to honor Hecate and return to his beliefs in her. So he's faced with the problem of wanting to wield magic, but as a wizard he has to study his spells and memorize them to utilize them, and he burned his spell book. So a lot of his journey from here on out is, of course, rebuilding himself, and of course trying to figure out a way to begin resealing the first gate of the abyss. Zorastres is almost comic relief at times in the book, because he is so awkward and he tries so hard and it usually blows up in his face. But you can't help but love him. I mean, he really honestly tries very, very hard. But I found a lot of myself in him, in that, you know, everyone experiences that time in their life where they're blinded. They don't see what's right in front of them. And it's up to the individual to realize that, and when they do, to make the decision of how they want to proceed. And that's where Zorastres ended up getting stuck and having to move on from. Zorastres is actually a pretty deep character. He tries his best to get along with people, even the people that either shun or downright hate him. He's got a good heart. He also has a unique ability that seems to be developing on its own to talk to people. Even if somebody's got a sword to his throat, he will find a way to talk his way out of it, if at all possible. He's not really a killer instinct type person. He's not really a fighter, go get him type. He's quite the opposite of his twin brother, who is a soldier of Athene. I think what I enjoyed writing the most about Zorastres was his family life when he got to go back home in Sea of Sands. Just because it struck me as very amusing to have twin older sisters, twin younger sisters, and he has a twin brother, so it kind of made quite the montage of family situations and how he interacted with everyone and how he interacted with his twin, who he so admired, but he also realized was a person just like him and could make mistakes just like he could. So Zorastres is a pretty deep character, more than people might give him credit for, because he does come across as such a nitwit at times. Where is he going from now? Well, he is certainly on his way back to Hecate, and through him the reader gets to delve more into more of an occult aspect to the story, because his journey is really just beginning. Without giving too much away, I can definitely say that he is going to be one of the heroes of the tome series, and will succeed in his goals that he set for himself. But the funny thing is about him, when he set out to honor Hecate, he's going to end up becoming something that he never dreamt of. He's going to end up becoming something that he never expected. So hopefully that will come as an enlightening surprise to him and an enjoyable one for you guys when you get there. When is that? I have no idea. I don't know how many books are going to be in the tome series. I have a basic plan. There will definitely be 5. Yeah, 5. I don't know if there will be more because of the way the story kind of peters out and how it evolves on its own for each book. But hopefully it won't be boring, and hopefully you guys will continue to enjoy it. And Zorastres seems to have developed quite the fan base amongst the readers out there, so I take that as a good sign that he's an enjoyable read for everyone. So I hope that continues, and I hope everyone will at least enjoy where he ends up and how his journey ends, and maybe even be a little surprised by it. We have one more week to go with our As Voted by You behind the scenes sort of in-depth sneak peek type thing about the characters from Rahasya, and it will be the last one for the month of September, and then we begin the big countdown to Rahasya's release on Halloween. And I got some surprises set aside for that, so I hope you enjoy that and continue to follow on Tidbit Tuesday to keep up to date on everything, and of course for the sneak peek next week. Until then,